where they're actually going to be playing to get an idea who might be in a little bit more of a better position.
So Liquid banning first, FaZe will ban second, Clubhouse and Oregon off the book table as they were played in the previous Playday from Latin America. Now, curious to see where these bans fold out.
Now, we see Bank banned a lot at the beginning, but yesterday was definitely a big exception to that with a lot of Bank play, which was a little bit out of the norm, but this is not as much.
3 Bank maps.
Yeah.
Consulate, the final there, and that's where we're going to be playing.
So far, Consulate has only been played once in Latin America. That was Black Dragons versus Boot Camp. So neither of these teams have played it. It's just not been a Latin America map.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good. I think it's a good platform for Liquid and FaZe to go head to head and tell us who's better in the first half of the season. Yeah,
one can hope that this will be a nice, evenly balanced match. But last time we saw it, it was very skewed towards one team. I believe it was Boot Camp 6-0'd Black Dragons on it. So it was one of those ones where it was obviously very much one team's map. The fact that both these teams let this through makes me think at least one of these teams is going to be gunning to really, really come out on this map and be prepared for it. But, I mean, it's hard to say. We'll see what you guys think, though, in terms of which team you think is preferred on this. Team Liquid, of course, getting a bit higher just because of, well, their track record pretty much bears that out.
Yeah, I mean, this makes a lot of sense considering the standings right now. Not surprised to see Liquid up there at the higher percentage. Although FaZe does still have a good chance, and they are a formidable team, then they will maintain that 35%.
Surprised me to see such a low draw percentage, though. I feel like this would have should have lent itself to a few more draw picks, but
I don't think this is going to be a draw. I think either way that this goes, it's going to be a pretty definitive fight. That's the way I'm seeing this happen. We've got two high-caliber teams, and I think it's going to be I mean, we talked about this earlier. I think it's going to be something similar to what we saw with Rogue versus Evil Geniuses. One team or another really just showing up in the day. We're going to go to a map that prefers, you know, one team or another, and it's going to lend itself to that team.
Well, what'll be interesting is to see is Liquid starting on defense. Now, last time it was attack favored in the sense that Boot Camp won, if I remember correctly, the first 5 attack rounds and then the first defense round for them. So if that's the case today, then FaZe should be able to get a few points early on, but I don't think this map really necessarily inherently leans to one side or the other. But as we get into it, we'll see which bomb sites they're going to start out with first after they ban their operators. And that is, again, a big factor as well. What will they ban? We just saw so many stats related to that. We'll see if those influence today.
Liquid will be the first team to ban, and then we'll get rid of Blitz.
All right.
So we you know, I think in Latin America, the Blitz is probably more frequently banned than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And we've seen them banned before in other regions, though.
I mean, it is a little bit of a surprise in some ways to have Liquid ban Blitz, just because Sexy Kick is a very, very good Blitz, something they could take advantage of here. Lion being banned, though, has been pretty much the norm to an extent for a lot of regions.
No real surprise there.
Yeah.
Now, you got to expect probably an Echo ban in here somewhere, maybe a Valkyrie ban as well.
There's the Echo.
Valkyrie next.
Checking off the boxes, especially for this map. This is one where it definitely lends itself to not having those cameras outside being something important, especially when it's the defenders.
Yeah, she's only
she's
only like the top 5 ban. You know, she's number 5 on the list there, but it's Consulate. Come on, you don't want those cameras outside.
It makes sense, and now there's less cameras inside as well with Echo off the board. So Maestro probably going to get some play here on this map, I would think.
Oh yeah, you got to imagine, especially when the defense goes downstairs. When you're in the basement, you need some kind of indirect challenge to the defuse plan. And Maestro already being played.
Yep.
Not even on the bottom floor, on the top floor, as a matter of fact.
Makes sense that Zig would be playing it.
Yeah, it does. Castle going to be coming out as well from Sexy Cake. Now this is going to be a pretty incremental operator here. What you can do, or instrumental rather, what you could do with him is you can allow yourself as a defender to rotate in the middle of the top floor by big desk and long desk. And cuts off that line of sight, can easily be established from many windows.
Absolutely. Interesting to see the 6 pick over to Pulse, just because, I mean, Bandit can be useful on this, although I wouldn't say he's a critical operator on it. But usually the Pulse would be played by someone like Zig. Oh, there's a Blackbeard coming out as well. Nice 6 pick. But usually they'd be played by Zig, but Zig I could see playing just as an effective Maestro combined with that. So between, you know, they lack the Echo, but between the Maestro and the Pulse, they should be able to get a lot of intel on this attack. But then there's, of course, some counter intel coming out from both the Jackal and the Dokkaebi, meaning roamers will still struggle a bit. And I wonder if the footprints of that Pulse, if he's roaming, might work against him.
Yeah, we've been seeing Jackal played a lot more after his buff. It's kind of interesting because the buff was less a you know, anything. It was more like a quality of life change.
It depends on the map, because there are definitely situations where you can get footprints from outside or from other floors. But yeah, overall it was like comfort, like what they said about Blackbeard, right? Make it more comfortable to play.
And that's true as well. You know, really Blackbeard just got a change.
Yeah.
Was less a buff or a nerf, and it was more a change. But the best way to put it is a quality of life change, because he's just more enjoyable to play now, whether or not he's better.
I mean, because when you have to scan those footprints so close, you're that much closer to just actually just being face checking it at that point, which of course is the opposite of what you want to be doing with Jackal. The ability to kind of track some of these footprints from upstairs. So like, for example, the skylight over yellow stairs now should in theory be able to pick up footprints that are at the very top of those yellow stairs. I mean, I don't know the exact distance, but if it's 8 meters or less, then it should be picked up, which is again something you couldn't necessarily do before, I don't think.
So seems like it's going to be a B take, and that's pretty obvious given we've got the Blackbeard pick.
Ooh.
And speaking of, Moringa going to get the first kill of this match. Sexy Cake taken out early. The castle hopefully, in fact, not able to get the barricades up in time, and that's not great.
Got to do that faster. A few shots onto a shield. Now he does have a little bit less health on that shield, and you see go fast. And he is running the Scar. I also noticed last night the Scar being played more as well. So that change to that has been benefiting it. But Nesk at least trading one back onto Astro.
Now, this is a difficult angle that you could see Moringa trying to challenge right now. But if the Maestro should re-peek into it, could be a very easy kill. Zig's going to go for it and lose his life. What a one-tap from Moringa. And the patience pays off.
He's been on a roll this round.
He certainly has 2 kills so far and able to shut out the castle, preventing any barricades that could disrupt this attack. Nice shot from Nesk as well. We've got some series of high skill kills so far in this match. Mav will eliminate Nesk, so the roam hunting Jackal really effective in this round.
Even the nice shot coming out on there. But yeah, it's definitely a case where Nesk was able to get 2, and that definitely benefited the team. But dying now, leaving it just on Bullet and PSK against 3 strong operators. This is looking very much FaZe favored, as long as they can manage this remaining 55 seconds well.
Well, 50 seconds is a lot to work with, that's for sure. You can see the attackers are taking their time with it. No rush in this round. PSK going to eat some bullets, but from behind in the admin office, Bullet himself will take down Gohan. Well positioned and well timed to peek into that Zofia. That's going to put it into a 2-on-2. Mav throwing out the smokes, attempting to cover his rotation into B, but will instead actually go for the bathroom, and this is a great position to deny rotation, but he cannot hold from connector where PSK remains, and Mav is going to be the last attacker who will lose out to PSK. A nice double kill from him, and Liquid take the very first round.
I think the big problem with that in the end was they had enough time, they had man advantage, but all of them were spread out. You saw the one die over an admin, then Blackbeard was trying to plant while Jackal was in a completely different position over by bathroom. Being so spread out meant they were just dying to 1v1s, where the defenders had the information advantage that they were playing in terms of, well, those 2 smokes give you some idea he's going to be somewhere in that room, right? And obviously he was still left alive at the end, but not a great place to be playing in.
I gotta say those smokes were really poorly placed, all things considered. I mean, it was great for him. The one by long desk, not a huge problem, because that's going to cover his rotation to bathroom. And his rotation to bathroom allows him to then cut off rotation, in theory. But he also threw his second smoke into the connector door, which means the smoke himself, the operator, is able to easily aggress onto the planting attacker. And when it's a 2 versus 2, you need to support your planter.
Yeah.
He was unable to do that because he disabled that potential support himself, and that's why you saw it go the way of Liquid. A nice try, though, from FaZe.
Yeah, definitely just one of those last-minute decisions, as well as just not as much coordinated teamwork at the end, unfortunately working against them. But good play from Liquid, though, in terms of being able to pick that up with the man disadvantage and making sure that they were ready for that plant. But, of course, some of that comes down to time. You knew there was just enough time left for them to start getting ready for that plant, so they read into that, used the smoke to their advantage. Either way, though, we did see actually Nesk do a reverse 6-pick this time of what he did last time. Instead of going from the Bandit to the Pulse, went from the Pulse to the Bandit. And then we saw Mav switch over to the IQ. So they are still trying to surprise each other a little bit here. Hopefully they will be able to pick up at least the Evil Eye and potentially Sexy Cake, who's going to be running around on that Vigil. We were just talking about Vigil being a problem for some teams here. In this case, I think Sexy Cake probably going to be a good Vigil.
Yeah, definitely a good option, but good options are great. I mean, fantastic. But if they lose 35% of their HP at the very beginning of the round, they're not going to do very much. And he's spawn peeking now, which has been read. If he exposes himself even a little bit, a simple hand shot will eliminate him. As such, Sexy will go for that reset. Probably the right call.
Yeah, you saw so many pings coming out as they were trying to call how to do the reset through the soft walls. But nonetheless, he is back up to the 50% health. Unfortunately, did not do any damage to FaZe, so unfortunate.
You know, we actually saw an attempted reset through a soft wall result in a death yesterday.
It certainly can happen. It's not the most reliable.
That was the first time I'd ever seen that, actually.
Yeah. Well, we know the most reliable way, of course, is if you have Rook armor, but you can't decide to do that mid-round.
And certainly not. Astro clearing from Printer, and he's going to receive the marks from his teammates using drones, but there's no follow-up. As you can see, FaZe has decided to just now take the half control of this top floor and wait, forcing Astro to drone himself into long desk.
He's already burned a phone call as well, and burned his second one now.
Really?
So that is all of that utility gone here, as Astro spending so much just to get nothing pretty much in the first minute 15 seconds here. But they do have a little bit of control at least.
Yeah, the most Astro can hope for now is the potential to hack into the cameras, but that's really not going to help his team very much in all likelihood. Now, an easy kill onto Sexy as he peeks the yellow stairs. Gohan's going to follow that up with one onto Bullet. So, piano control now, well in hand for FaZe, and a very, very generous man advantage.
Well, Nesk's still alive. I do think now the teams are even, right? Now it's a fair fight.
Yeah.
But either way, we saw Liquid come back last round with the man disadvantage. So.
Yeah. So anything's possible, and Nesk is still alive with a 2.5 KD. I guess, yeah, it's worth talking about.
Well, 2.5 people he can get before he dies. That should bring it back a little bit.
And if he can do that in this round, then Liquid will have a much better chance, that's for sure, even if he dies immediately after. FaZe has yet to open up the garage, and that's a big deal. They're only just now going to be doing just that. And opening up the garage this late in the round is not going to be ideal, considering they're now going to have to drone that out. The more important thing, though, is it's a Dokkaebi instead of a Thermite. Now, Cameraman does get Nesk, so no 2.5 kills for him in this round. And it leaves PSK and Zig as the final two defenders against 5. With only 25 seconds to go, all they need to do is wait for that inevitable push. Here come the drones. PSK going to be forced into reload as a result. Astro will get the easy kill, leaving just Zig now, and he won't even get a single frag before Mav finishes him off from the drop down, or actually, no, from the yellow stairs.
Wow. And nicely done from Astro to hack those cameras. Now, we didn't used to see camera hacking as much used in Pro League, but lately I feel like since Maestro's come into play, it's become that much more beneficial because those evil eyes, unlike black eyes, right, where you get them thrown outside and things like that, where it's positions where it doesn't help you as an attacker as much, with evil eyes, those are usually in critical positions around the site that can really help you take site. And counter to droning, for example, we saw 2 drones go in, right? Yeah, they did get his position, but they got shot. Whereas with the evil eye, chances are when you look through that, you're going to be able to see where those defenders are holding up, and they're not going to shoot their own evil eye. They're not going to get rid of it. Like, even you see some teams willing to shoot their own black eyes, willing to shoot default cams out just to help that, but the evil eyes will stay. So I feel like Astro hacking that, while, you know, was not a critical play, it's those small things that helped in that attack.
It really does have to do with that positioning, though, like you talked about. Sometimes they're in those critical spots where they'll see everything. Sometimes they're over by the front of garage. You know, it really depends on the team and the individual Maestro. It's possible it aided FaZe in that round, and they did have a very dominant round. There wasn't a whole lot of fight put up by Liquid, not a single kill.
Yeah, we'll see if things change up. They did change bomb sites, though, despite losing Garage. They're going to go right up to Lobby. So now they're playing the 3rd bomb site, which means, well, they've played them all at this point, which is good, and we will see which ones of those they are good on. But Liquid also bringing a little bit of a surprise in Sexy Cake, picking Alibi, which he seems to, we've talked about this before. Sexy Cake is always the player who will play all the new roles. He'll play all the new operators. He'll do all the different things, the different new ideas to try out. I don't know what it is about him. He's just obviously their most flexible player in terms of not having a main or not having a dependency on playing all the roles. And I appreciate that from him because he's willing, they don't always work, but at least he's willing to do that for his team to see if there's something there that can benefit Liquid. We'll see this round if that's the case.
Yeah, exploring those possibilities is definitely going to aid his team, that's for sure. There's not going to be much of that, though, from FaZe, as they are just going to go for a very basic attack onto the admin office, which is what easily the most common attack on this map. Not any specific site. You can attack from here on every site.
Yeah, admin definitely a key part of this here. Interesting to see Astro is going to be on Dokkaebi with Gohan on Twitch instead because, well, we know how good Astro is on Twitch, but nonetheless, he's been doing well on Dokkaebi, so either way, I think it's been working well. But Sexy Cake up here could be a bit of a problem for him if he's able to stay up here for a while. The Gohan droning nearby.
Now, of course, Gohan's on Twitch because there is no Mira ban right now, which you don't often see. And usually when there is no Mira ban, you'll see a Mira played. Yeah. And it's actually kind of weird that Liquid is not bringing that Mira. I mean, especially considering they're defending the middle floor, arguably one of the most influenced floors by the Mira. Now, Consulate as a map isn't a huge Mira map. But
no, it's like the bathroom and then that office downstairs, and that's it.
Yeah, but Mira is still useful on pretty much every map, regardless of if it's a central role or not.
Yeah, I guess there's also the top stairs for admin defense, but that doesn't seem to work so well just because of the printer room window. Pretty much gets rid of that quick.
Yeah, a simple nade from the printer window or anyone establishing. You can't really hide a mirror window from that window. It's very difficult. All you have to do is open up the soft wall right next to the doorway.
Well, either way, Astro has managed to actually push Sexy Cake out of the top floor here. And Bullet trying to contest from yellow stairs. So they are falling back into the middle floor, top floor control, going over to FaZe. It's not bad, considering they've only burned 2 minutes here and they've got a minute left to work with, but they have yet to kill anyone on Liquid, which means they're going to be setting up to deny as long as possible here because they have utility from C4s and smokes to do that.
Yeah, the big story here really is the time. 50 seconds left, still a 5-on-5, so FaZe has not been able to get those early frags that they did in the previous round. And now they're going to have to struggle against the heavy manpower that Liquid still has in hand. Now, it looks like it's going to be a B-site focus for FaZe Clan as they start setting themselves up on that front door. They also have control over projector, so vertical control established. Liquid's going to want to contest that, but they're going to be unsuccessful. Cameraman will get Zig after the defuse has been planted. PSK refrags immediately, but Sexy Cake shut down by Astro. Speaking of Astro, a second one for him on the yellow stairs, and that's just going to leave Nesk and PSK. And in a retake position onto a planted diffuser, this is not an easy situation for either of them. And they're just going to peek into these held angles from the attackers. PSK, the first victim. Nesk, the soon-to-be follow-up. As he drops into the yellow stairs, he will get one onto Astro. He has no time to kill 3 players and also disable the diffuser. And as such, the attackers will go frag hunting. Mav, the one to eventually find him. And FaZe win in another round.
Yeah, a very, very strong win, too. 4v1 in the end of that situation at first before Ness got the one. That was definitely not a great position to be in because, of course, it is so hard to get all those people outside. He did have the advantage in that he could have at least used his heartbeat sensor to read who was nearby outside, maybe found a jump out onto the little balcony. There was a variety of ways he could play that, but with so little time left and so many people left to find and kill, they were just going to have to throw themselves at his gun pretty much for him to win that, unfortunately. Not that we haven't seen Nesk win some strong odds against him clutches, but...
I think the level of throwing we would have had to have seen was probably like everyone proning into the main lobby and whipping out their pistols and trying to caterpillar. No, but jokes aside, there is actually no way for Ness to kill all of the attackers and
tried to line up
at
for
that point. Yeah, they tried to, but my point here is even if he had killed all of them, he wouldn't have had time. There was just not enough time there. And that's due to a fairly efficient take from FaZe Clan. Something really important to note is while they did eventually attack with 5 versus 5 and there was 50 seconds left, it's kind of late and there were no there was no lead established. They were able to get the plant off with no real contention from the Liquid defense, which is interesting. You don't really see Liquid often get pushed over like that.
Yeah, they fell back really easily.
They did fall off their own very easily, but their anchors were the ones who really to blame, in my opinion. I mean, not having anything to contest the diffuse plant in front door? What's going on there?
I'm sure they wish they had an Echo in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, or just like somebody playing downstairs with a C4, Maestro Cam maybe to, Maestro Cam to maybe deny that plant just frontally. Maybe it was destroyed, but the point here is you have to have layers to your denial of the front door. That's kind of the whole point of a middle floor defense.
Well, they are going to be bringing the Blackbeard again because as a 6 pick because they know about this bomb site being the choice here at this moment.
So we did see actually last time Latin America played a bulletproof cam be destroyed because it was placed on a window like that.
Yeah, that was funny.
If you don't break the window first, if you place something on it, then anyone who breaks the window, the glass window, will destroy whatever's placed on it. And maybe it doesn't apply to Evil Eyes.
It's just one of those quirks you kind of have to be prepared for in terms of how destruction works in this game.
Like I said, maybe it doesn't apply to Evil Eyes. I haven't tested it yet.
It most likely does.
But it very certainly
Anything that mounts on the wall like a Jaeger ADS, probably similar situation. I mean, maybe even Jaeger ADSs as well may suffer from that same problem.
I'm pretty sure they do, but I don't know if I've ever figured that out directly because you could just shoot them.
Yeah. But either way, will be a case here where they're starting to push their way towards the site. Now, last time we saw some pretty good play from Moringa on this window. This time, Sexy Cake trying to counter it directly. This could be a big mistake for them in the fact that, well, he doesn't need to be contesting it this directly. While Blackbeard did get a small nerf to the shield, it's not that big of one where you'd be able to easily win this contest, especially with an ump which is not going to do a ton of damage. You know, steady recoil, but you need to throw damage to that shield quickly.
I mean, it's only a 10 HP reduction on the shield. It's going to be the same amount of bullets to destroy that shield from almost every gun, I would imagine. And the first one will go into the Blackbeard shield from Sexy, but he eats a little bit of damage in return. So Moringa coming out on top in that exchange using utility for HP.
He's most likely to win this fight, too, if Sexy Cake keeps pushing it. And really, this is not a fight you need to take right now. You're better off with a run-out because Blackbeard's not going to try and do much until towards the end of the round anyways. So contesting him now is a waste of time when you could be contesting the other attackers trying to push from different sides.
Yeah, seems like it's going to be focused on the bathroom and yellow stairs from the attack here. Zig has eaten a lot of damage from Gohan, trying to contest his window. And the phone calls are going to give away his position. So Gohan aware of what he's got to confront when he goes for that repel. And he's going to have to eventually. And we've only got 50 seconds left. Just past that mark now. And FaZe are setting themselves up for the actual take. They have 2 on yellow stairs, 1 repelling on the B window. And they're going to have a full 5-on-5 execution onto the B site. But we will not get to see it.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
But either way, I think I was talking about at the beginning that last time Consulate was played, it was very attack-favored. We're starting to see something similar here, at least from FaZe so far. I mean, there's a good chance they win this round as well, depending on how things flow from here. But I'm feeling like this is going to be a 3-2 going into second half. Like a situation where we might see another defense successful on the 5th round from, you know, just feeling things out in terms of what I've seen in the past.
3-2 in whose favor?
In FaZe's favor. So that's what I'm feeling so far, is that we get 3 attack rounds in a row. You had 2 defense wins, 1 at the beginning, 1 at the end, and then we switch sides, and then all of a sudden Liquid come back a bit more on attack. That's just a guesstimate, just based off of, you know, a lot of different things, but...
I could see it. I could see it. I also think you were right at the beginning when you theorized that this is going to be closer to a draw than most matches were, and most people in the poll would assume.
Well, it's a balanced map, so...
Yeah, the reason I would have assumed otherwise is just the teams, the lineups. But yeah, Consulate is a very well-balanced map.
I mean, that helps. Obviously, you can see teams, you know, that know it really well or have really good strategies and good counter strategies, you know, dominate like the 6-0 I was talking about before. But it was a 6-0 in a situation where they swept one side, and in theory, it could have flipped around the other way. But since they only had to win 1 round, you didn't get to see a whole lot of attempts from Black Dragons to be able to come back on that. We're obviously not going to see the exact same situation here because 1 defense has already been won by Liquid. So it's not going to be a 5-0 sweep in any fashion, but it's still looking strongly in FaZe's favor on these attacks because we're seeing these small little mistakes that Liquid are doing in terms of even Sexy Cake overly pushing things. We saw him push it with the Vigil in terms of over peaking. We're seeing him push it with the Castle right now. We're just not seeing them making really smart plays in terms of countering what we're seeing. And maybe they're just relying too much on Nesk to frag out to be able to pull this off, or maybe some intel from some of the other operators that's just not coming out.
Yeah, and he hasn't really been fragging out just as of yet. But we've also seen some really big pieces of negligence from Liquid just in general. You know, for example, that defense of the middle floor. What's going on with denial of the defuse plant by the front door? I talked about it earlier, talk about it again. That's a pretty big step to skip over.
It's weird. We're seeing a mix of confidence and passiveness that's a little bit odd, because Liquid are a team that can play very, very aggressive if they have that confidence. We're seeing Sexy Cake toggle between that. We're seeing him play very passive and falling off of roam very easily, or we're seeing him play very aggressive and pushing things he doesn't need to push, angles he doesn't need to push. Whereas the other teammates seem to be falling back a lot, seem to be hiding, playing very passive, not over-aggressing outside of maybe Nesk. And I think that's working against them, because in Latin America, that kind of restrained aggression that with good timing seems to work very well for a lot of Latin America, but we're not seeing that last part of it from Liquid for the most part.
Yeah, and the aggression from FaZe has been kind of gauged as well. It hasn't been the same that we're used to, where it's just all out, go, 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 go.
It's been very steady.
It's been very steady, and it's been very timed as well.
Yeah.
We've noticed that 40 seconds is about where the actual push starts.
Which is really good for Latin America with no line.
Yeah, it's decent, yeah. And it's starting at 40 seconds. That means you're relying a lot on getting those early frags, and they only sometimes happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes we see those 5-on-5 setups like we just saw right before the cutoff there. But we're going to throw it to a break while we get everything sorted out, and we'll be back shortly.
Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo.
Welcome back. So unfortunately, due to some connection issues, there was a bit of the match played during the break there. So we're actually in a position now where it is 4-2 FaZe, which means, of course, we've gone at least one round into the switch. Not sure which round Liquid won, but we're just going to jump right back into it in that 4-2 scoreline for FaZe. So now they are 2 points away from taking this from Liquid. Now FaZe are on defense. As I said, they would have switched sides. Unfortunately, that I think it was a 6th pick over to Twitch, and Astra switching to Jaeger. So they will be playing on console. Again, not sure exactly which bomb sites have already been played, as that was off stream.
We do not know. We just know that it's 4-2 in favor of the FaZe clan right now. And they have been, I mean, when we left, when we left off, they were looking pretty darn dominant.
Yeah.
Liquid seemingly struggling a little bit to win their fights right now. And you said maybe it's the reliance on Nest to get the frags.
It seems like it.
It seems that way, yeah. It's very possible. We also have some, players that in those rounds we got to witness are just getting picked off a little too early. Like Sexy Cake had a couple rounds where he just wasn't able to perform.
Now, I wonder if my prediction came true as well, because we didn't get to see it. I was predicting that 3-2 scoreline going into the switch. Definitely may have been the case, but it also could have gone in a slightly different order, so.
I want to say you're right, because...
let's just go with that, I guess.
Because, yeah, we'll just go with that.
Why not? Oh, go on, actually going for a cheeky ACOG peek.
What is that? That's not ACOG?
Oh, wait, no, that is not even the ACOG. What is he doing?
What is that?
Yeah, I just didn't even think about that, because I just thought, why would you be, staring at a window without an ACOG on that gun that, is one of the few guns that gets one?
We all have our preferences, I suppose.
Might as well spawn peek with the bailiff.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird that on the few defensive guns that can bring an ACOG, you don't.
Yep, he didn't have to break the glass that time because he put it between the two.
Yeah, go Gohan.
So smart.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, this is the first round we've actually gotten to see us personally of FaZe's defense, so they have an entirely different setup than what we're used to, the way that they're trying to hold this site. And Liquid, on the other hand, one trait that was really prevalent with FaZe is how long they took for their attack. Setting up and you started executing with 50 seconds left. Like you said, that is fast for Latin America.
Yeah, without a line especially.
Without a line, yes, especially. And even more especially in this season.
Yeah.
It's seemingly the attack rounds have been slowing down. But we have yet to see how Liquid attack. Are they as slow, or are they going to be a little bit quicker?
And it's possible that the other round they won was on attack. Zig already starting things off nicely. His cameraman, unfortunately, tries to get a little sun and unfortunately takes in some bullets from the C8 instead. So good start. And that is a lot of intel lost now. Cameraman appropriately named, as he has his little Polaroid, but now dead on pulse. So they're going to have to depend a little bit more on Evil Eyes and Legion Mines if they want some extra intel here, or just roaming aggressively.
You can see at the cutoff for the rotations in the B site to Yellow Stairs coming out from Liquid. FaZe not in the best positions right now, especially after losing Cameraman. That's going to be a lot of... Oh, it happens to the best of us. One wasted dual grenade launcher concussion. Not sure what the plan was there. Either way, he's going to start moving his way up those spiral stairs, and he will caught Mav unawares and get an easy kill.
Looking like we could be seeing a comeback here from Liquid. Like I said, we don't know exactly how the previous round went down, but this has been a very, very good start for them. 55 seconds left. Not terrible in terms of the fact that they got 2 important operators dead already, but they're going to need to deal with that smoke from Moringa still, who still has all 3. And as I say that, there goes 1, but it's at the 45-second mark. They could still definitely bait those out.
Yeah, so we're seeing again more of the same, the slow attack, but what a hip fire from Gohan. Sexy Cake will also get Astro, leaving just Moringa. He gets a nice headshot onto Sexy Cake. Whips out the shotgun, goes for, but a shotgun from Zig is actually the one to connect, it seems. Or so I want to believe, and Liquid will take the round.
Well, that was definitely an interesting attack, and like you said, maybe it was a little bit faster. That was pretty much what we saw from FaZe as well in terms of time management, and the attack really kind of starting to finish up at the 50-second mark there. Looked pretty similar. Look, maybe going to bring that Finka now. Again, we've talked about Finka. Got Again, not necessarily buff, not necessarily nerf, but some changes happening. And we'll see if Sexy sticks with that. As we talked about earlier, he is the one to tend to play the new operators to try the new ideas out, so it doesn't surprise me to see him do that. But they will be trying Console again here. So it's a case where last time he 6'd pick off of it, might do the same thing again if he predicts that they're on the same bomb site, because that attack kind of worked.
We also have
we go.
Mira coming from Cameraman,
Ooh.
which we haven't been seeing yet so far in this match. A 6 pick into an Ashe.
Well, to go from one person that helps everyone be faster to just one person that helps just you be faster.
Yeah.
Selfish.
I don't want to say self. I mean, in a way, sure, but it's just it's going to be preference, right?
Yeah.
And there's a specific role that Ashe has to fulfill, and they're trying to make it easier for Sexy to fulfill that role.
Yep.
So, you know, neat. But it's so weird to say, but I think Finka would have been better.
Probably in this case, just because like we know Nesk is very good on Ashe, but it's not Nesk's Sexy Cake, and I think he is a very good utility operator as well as bringing some fragging power. I feel like maybe not the best choice. Just like you said, that probably would have been better utility, and not only that, but he would have got some grenades now. So
you know, the funny thing, it's just so weird to say that that Finka would be a better operator to play.
That's why we have these mid-season changes, right? Just to keep us on our toes like that.
That's exactly it. It's just the patch notes are trying to change our knowledge and adapt Siege constantly. But setup going on to the top floor here from Gohan. He's still, I believe, got that red dot on his LMG. Yes, there it is.
Well, it didn't really work for him last round, but he was in a situation where the statue kind of influenced his ability to make that fight work. Could be a little bit different this time. Hopefully, though, we're not going to see a cameraman sticking his face out into the skylight this time on the top of Spiral Stairs.
We've got some good coverage here on the potential runouts from Liquid. They've got a well-established hold outside. It's taken a minute for them to get it, though, and they've only just set themselves up to push into Bathroom. Could be an easy take, though, into Bathroom. If they situate someone in there, it gives a good position for later crossfire and constant pressure onto the anchors for FaZe.
If they can get in there, that would be pretty good. I mean, usually that bathroom would be occupied if you have an Echo playing, but in the case that the Echo's banned, that bathroom tends to be a little more vacant on your attacks, and you can kind of read into that when you know that Echo's been banned, that, well, no one's going to sit safely in there. I mean, Cameraman could, if you wanted to play someone in there as a pulse. But
also, Moringa's playing proximity to the bathroom. At any point, he can throw a gas canister in there, and it's just going to make it really hard to survive. Sexy Cake gets the angle on Astro. Pretty easy kill there. Astro just standing still by the long desk, and Sexy well positioned on the A balcony, just waiting and looking for the next fight. We'll drone out Gohan in that connector. Gohan's got an evil eye, so he doesn't have to directly take this fight.
He's definitely going to have to fight it at some point, though, is the push is going to come in, because attacker advantage here, they don't have to spend 50 seconds to make this push work because of the man advantage. They can just start pushing in a little bit right now, see if they can get a pick, and then quickly snowball that into attack, but they just have to worry about Moringa, and he's already taken some damage. If they can take him out, then it's mostly up to Gohan to really slow them down.
Well, Cameraman's still that X factor all the way down in the basement. He even has support from Mav. 2 roamers, which means only 2 anchors. This is very dangerous as we hit the 45-second mark. Liquid are going to eventually stack up and go for the push, while Cameraman will be able to influence the push indirectly from below. The Legion won't so much be able to do that.
It looks like Sexy's not using the new advanced drone throwing.
Interesting to see. We'll have him, though, throwing those flashes into connector, trying to disorient the defenders. Smokes come down to cover rotation. Gohan not able to deny this plant. He has the evil eyes, though, so maybe at a later date. Cameraman will get a UMP kill onto Nesk. Still has the C4. PSK gets Moringa as he pushed into the site. Going for the default plant spot. Sexy also gets Gohan, leaving Mav and Camera, the last 2 defenders. Mav trying to fight back, cannot deny the defuse plant. Narrow angle that, and he just barely misses out on those shots. Cameraman will get a nice headshot on the bullet, but he is now the final defender, and he is easily shut down by Zig, blocking out that rotation.
Well, definitely looking like what I was talking about at the beginning of it being a bit attacker-sided. Like I said, we don't know exactly how some of those middle rounds went down, but it's looking pretty much like I would expect from an attacker-sided situation where, you know, FaZe won a lot of rounds at the beginning on attack. Now that we switch sides, you see the scoreline catch up for Liquid, and of course I expect some defensive rounds to be won by FaZe, but at the same time, we are looking closer to that tie scoreline or a 6-4. So it is definitely looking pretty balanced between these two guys on this map, which is what I would hope to see. I mean, maybe not always what you'd expect. Certainly not what the community expected. But it seems like these two teams fairly balanced. But it is much more important for FaZe to win this than it is for Liquid in terms of score.
You know, I expect this to be an incredibly exciting match, and it has given us some excitement in the rounds we've been able to see.
Yeah, a lot of mystery as well.
A lot of mystery as well, yeah. But doesn't that just add to the mystique?
What happened those rounds?
Wow,
Shifted
factor.
around, yeah.
Who knows? But no, on a serious note, it has been a good match so far from what we've been able to see.
Absolutely.
And I was actually anticipating this to be a little bit more dominant victory in Liquid's favor. You know, we're looking at the standings. It seems pretty obvious that they would have the edge. That's the thing. FaZe is the reason they're not so high. They're not too high on the standings right now. Is their inconsistency.
Yeah.
At times they go toe to toe with teams such as Liquid, and at other times they really struggle to do anything of note.
Well, I would say especially that matchup. We've seen in the previous season situations where, like, when it's FaZe versus Liquid, it can really go either way.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen times where, like, Liquid is the dominant team, and all of a sudden FaZe beats them, and you're like, what just happened? Or the reverse of that. So, if any match was going to change things up for FaZe, this was actually the most likely one, surprisingly.
Yeah. It could be that they managed to start getting themselves back into the season. Liquid's not going to hurt too much from a loss here if they get it. They will. I mean, obviously, you want to get as many wins as you can under your belt, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Liquid to lose. Meanwhile, FaZe kind of needs to start getting these wins if they want to go to that LAN event all the way at the end of the season. That's so far off still, though.
Yeah, definitely a ways away, much like the end of this round, is it's only been 30 seconds in. Setup is done. Astro actually going to be on the Vigil. Oh, so close for Nesk there.
Something to note about the Spectator, we actually see everything a little bit delayed. So if you see someone holding an angle and then they come off the angle just as they see someone and you don't notice they react, it's because they didn't actually see what we witnessed.
Yeah.
So that's worth keeping in mind. It's not that much, but it is, you know, a couple milliseconds. Nesk going to be going for a spray onto CEO, and we'll do some damage there to Astro, who is now one bullet away from certain doom.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be as stealthy on that Vigil now that he's been spotted, but he manages to escape down a floor into the bathroom. So it's a good spot for him to be in, but he's going to need Moringa's help to stay alive here.
Yeah.
Who runs away.
He's going to leave him
Good night,
high
Astro.
and dry, and Astro still on the roam, it seems. Using that Vigil, though, well, is going to be able to distract and delay likely for a good amount of time to come.
At this point, they might even be able to kill him with a shock drone if they can sneak that in there.
It's possible. I don't know if they know that, though. Moringa has also eaten some damage. So two very lit defenders, and Sexy Cake, the only one from the attack to see anything in kind.
Definitely looking good for this attack.
Oh.
There's a minute 20 left. No, he's going to be trapped in that closet if they just drone him out.
They know it.
They know. Goodbye.
Easy kill there for Nesk. Information called out. Astro position given away. And he did delay somewhat, but he was not able to get any kills. And, you know, you could call that an average roam.
Yeah. I mean, he like you said, he did delay a little bit, but just, I wouldn't say effective enough because the entire time he was delaying, they were getting map control. So that's not really much of a delay, but yeah, maybe 15, 20 seconds.
And a failed
extra.
roam, once you take into account the hacked cameras. Now
Ooh,
Bullet's going to
yeah.
have information on Astro's teammates. The one thing of note for me, though, is that the attack is just now starting to push his way outside to the garage with only 33 seconds. And they've opened up the panel. You could just hear it just now from the Excaros. But it's so late. And again, it's just a Hibana, no Thermite, which means that's going to be a pretty fierce bottleneck the attackers are going to have to fight through. 20 seconds to go. 5 on 4. We've seen this a couple times already in this match. The smokes and gas canisters to counter each other. Gohan eating some damage from the yellow stairs through that smoke. You see a downed Moringa, and the push from Liquid absolutely shut down. Bullet, the last one to go. Cameraman on fire, playing from the front and back of White Van.
A 3K, 2 with the C4, 1 with the Vector. Definitely saved that round.
Yeah, absolutely destroying that push. And now we have match point for the defense.
This, I mean, like I said, I expected FaZe to at least win one of their defenses on this. So this is still kind of going the direction it seemed it would go. But will this be a 6-4 or 5-5 this round will decide, as this is the last round of this matchup. And this is, I think, very exciting because this determines whether or not FaZe can go forward with those extra 3 points, climb their way up the leaderboard, because a tie for Liquid means very little for them. But it means a lot to FaZe.
I mean, a tie or a loss for Liquid.
Yeah.
They're not really sweating it too much. This is one of their fiercest opponents in the entire region.
Yeah.
And the ones that they're, Liquid is, if they're going to struggle against a team, it's going to be FaZe.
Yeah. On the upside, though, at this point, FaZe cannot lose this match.
It looks like we're good.
So guaranteed 1 point. Yeah, I know it was a close call. So guaranteed 1 point. So they will definitely not be at least as hurting, but it's still 1 to 3 points in the first half is a big difference because, there's so few teams with significant leads like Liquid have that just being, even in the middle of the pack, getting 1 point is still good.
Absolutely agreed. You got to get as much as you can, but they will, FaZe will absolutely have 1 point. That's a guarantee. They want to get those 3. And that will, of course, be decided in the next 3 minutes, 20 seconds, which one it's going to be. Now, I think FaZe definitely has the edge here in this round, considering they are on defense. They get to wait. It is FaZe's round to lose right now. Meanwhile, Liquid are going to have to put up their A game to get that victory. Interestingly, we've got cameraman on the Mira for the top floor, which is, I would say, I mean, pretty much every floor is not that aided by Amira. She's a great operator, but we're talking about Consulate, and this is not her map. Yet, on the final round, you choose to bring her when, there are other potential options.
I guess, it worked for him last round, but yeah, he's totally different bomb sites.
Yeah, definitely. And, we'll see how it plays out. It definitely could be useful. However, it's so easy to disable those mirror windows at any point.
To be fair, you do get a C4 and a very nice gun to go with it.
Yeah,
but
and you're 3 armor. Some people like really playing those 3 armor.
But you're also potentially setting up a window that gets used against you. So
yeah,
we'll
true. We always like to say, broken mirror window is, if not intentional or if not deliberate, it's worse than no mirror window at all.
Yeah. Well, either way, though, the attack hasn't managed to get a lot of progress just yet in the first minute. Got a lot of windows and things like that open. Ooh, look at the entire top of that wall was open. Set up for throws. I like that strategy along with the window. So they're definitely setting up to contest a lot from Connector, which means if Liquid can pinch out and clear Connector, a lot of this defense will not be in a good position to stop a push and plant in the actual console office.
Looks like Liquid is trying to disable the mirror window from below, possibly? Kind of an interesting angle. Yeah, you don't usually see that. They're also doing it with their Twitch rather than Zig on the buck. But
gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Zig gonna be rushing the yellow stairs with his shotgun out and switch to the rifle, but he has now control, which will be pushed back by the gas canister from Moringa. That's 2 gas canisters already used.
A minute 18 left as well. That is good for the attackers. He took a little bit of damage, but so little compared to how much utility has now been burned. All 3 gas canisters. They don't have anything else to deny outside of C4.
Credit to Moringa. He did deny control of the yellow stairs for a time, and now he's going to use his shotgun in that same endeavor.
Ooh.
And he will get 1, but fail for the second. Nesk will get the kill. Mav easy to refrag. So definitely a win there for FaZe, denying a lot of control and manpower on the yellow stairs. And it looks like Liquid is going to have to reevaluate their attack, instead choosing to come from the admin office side. Actually, Sexy Cake has found a hole in the defense right now. He can get some very easy frags. Downs 1, expects another in the admin office. There is no one there. Astro now in a great position to support his teammate, but the phone call going to give away that position, and Sexy Cake able to secure the kill on the cameraman. Final 22 seconds. Here comes the rappel into the site. C4 will miss too early. PSK now able to plant that diffuser, but it's not being covered from the yellow stairs, and Gohan just walks into sight. An easy double kill for Gohan. Mav with the down on the diffuse planter, and FaZe will take the victory.
Well, definitely not how I expected it to end, especially that round, because it looked like it was strongly in Liquid's favor, but such poor coverage of the plant. Getting down through the desk and then not really covering well from the window. Maybe a Blackbeard would have been a good choice there if you were planning to go for that plant. But either way, a good attempt at least, and FaZe finally getting the 3 points that they needed. Will that be enough? Hard to say, but it's definitely better than 1.
Yeah, that was a weird match. Of course we didn't get all of it.
Well, we got an intermission in the middle.
Yeah, we missed a solid chunk of the match. But what we did get to witness, a very lackluster Liquid, I have to say. It's almost as if they were not really as present as you are used to seeing from them.
It felt like maybe the energy level from them was a bit down.
That's a good way to put it. Their energy level